Mic check. Hey everyone, this is Zoom with Corner Software. Good to have everybody here today. We have quite a few people both on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch watching today. Today we're going to be talking about our Steam launch announcement. We have some more details in here as well about other activities taking place. Thank you all for patiently waiting. I know that this has been a long time coming. We've been working very, very hard here at Corner Software to repair the team, to get the game stabilized and actually get to this point, which has required us to completely improve our infrastructure and a lot of our code to be able to do this Steam launch. So we're really excited today about announcing this, and we hope that this information is valuable and exciting. We're talking about a very big opportunity here for World War II Online and a fresh start, if you will, in many regards. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed and get on with it. At the end of the presentation, myself and Dagger, who is joining me here today, Dagger is our marketing team lead. We will be taking in some questions from you guys from all three of those platforms, both Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So just get your questions ready as we go along, take notes of them, and we'll be happy to spend some time here to make sure you guys are as briefed as possible. So here we go. Here's a quick briefing on today's topics. We'll be talking about our schedule of upcoming events. Of course, we will be announcing our Steam release date, and things are about to get serious, so buckle up. So here's our schedule of events. We have a Welcome Back Soldier upcoming. We have some campaign server events to support that. It will be very valuable for our returning guys as well as for all of our new guys coming through Steam. These campaign server events will be in line with the campaign. They will not interrupt the campaign. They will only supplement the campaign. And of course, our Steam release timeline. Let's talk about our Welcome Back Soldier. So from September 1st to December 1st, veterans will be able to activate 30 days of premium access. What that means is if you show up on September 1st or on November 25th, for example, at any time, a single individual will be able to activate their 30 days of premium access. This is very new for this team to do this, but we think it's important to give everyone a fair opportunity to come back and see a major climb in people playing the game, as well as new content inbound. Of course, a priority reason for this is to do a pre-Steam launch population buildup. We want the Steam users to show up, and we want our veterans to show up around the same time, but we want to get our veterans in a little bit early. We'll stress the servers a bit. Our server capacities have gone up quite a bit. Our bandwidth has gone up. As I mentioned earlier, we've done a lot of changing things up. So we're really excited to bring our soldiers back. We've done these before, but we think this is going to be probably our best Welcome Back Soldier that we've run in many, many years. So if you're out there on the sideline wondering if this is going to happen, here you go. This is definitely the time to get back involved with World War II Online. We really look forward to seeing it. Squads should be getting organized and start rallying up as soon as possible with this information in mind. So let's talk about some important information about accounts and as they relate to Steam. Historical accounts, those that have been created with us, will not be transferable to Steam, just to be clear about that. You can play a non-Steam game in your Steam client/UI, however. All current customers should expect no change in their billing or login method. We will continue to support and manage those accounts. CRS has retained the historical data of all of those accounts, whether it's ranks, statistics, squads, etc. All of that stuff, forum posts, it's all there. We've still held on to it. Our support team is ready to assist all customers, both new and returning. Steam will be managing all new Steam customers' billing information. All customers will be part of the same online community, forum, site, Discord, which is our voice comms tool, replacing TeamSpeak, etc. They will all be placed in a single campaign server. Our mission has been this whole time not to deviate population. We want everyone to be in one single, totally populated campaign. So let's talk about those campaign server events I mentioned earlier. There will be side-by-side global events led by our community management and high command teams. We will have a drop-in framework chain of command, and we've actually already created these, and we'll be distributing those details later on post this little meeting. Basically, someone will volunteer for a single position or a billet in an empty chain of command, and we're going to start filling that up. It's a really great idea. We've done it a few times in the past. It's worked out really well. And it's going to showcase both to our new customers coming as well as our existing customers and returning folks just the scale and capability of World War II Online and what really sets it apart from everybody else. And that is organized, large-scale combat. It's going to be really cool. The first event will be on September 17th, which is Sunday. And then we're going to do the same thing again on October 1st. And this will all make sense in a second as we start going into our Steam release plan. So here comes the big announcement. Everyone ready? Okay, so here's our Steam Live release timeline. So North and South America, we will be releasing on September 5th, 2017. Notice that USA is the next one. We're launching in North and South America first to make sure that when we get to the USA and the rest of these bigger countries, or continents for that matter, we have as prepared as possible. Now, we feel really confident that everything's going to be okay, but this is a very intentional buildup. So North and South America on September 5th, with the exception of the USA. However, that USA will be coming on the 8th, which is a Friday. And then the following Tuesday, we'll be doing Europe. The following Friday, the 15th, we'll be doing Asia, Oceania on the 19th, and the rest of the world, with an intended goal of we're going to be 100% on Steam by September 22nd, which is technically the last day of summer. We know we wanted to do this earlier, and we're doing everything we can to push this date to make sure we follow through with our commitment to all of you that we are going to be on by the end of summer of 2017. So we're kind of pushing it, I know, but our development and operations team have suggested we should do this just to be safe, to make sure we don't blow anything up, because honestly, guys, we've had not just thousands, hundreds and thousands of people show up to our Steam store page, which is really, really exciting. It's also pretty scary, but we're really excited about the possibility. So here's some other really good news. Because of this scattered timeline, we have been telling everyone that when you first sign up to World War II Online, you're going to get a 2-week trial. However, because of this scattered timeline and because we think it's a good idea to invest in these new folks coming from Steam, all customers who sign up in the month of September will receive 30 days of full premium access due to the staggered release. We've never done this before, but we're really excited to bring all these guys in. And because we know that certainly for when we release, that's when a lot of people are going to be playing. We want the maximum potential. And if this works out really good, we may, don't hold me to it, but we may hold on to this 30 days as a standard trial for Steam users. So I hope that this is really exciting news for you. We're super excited. Hopefully you can hear it in my voice. We've been wanting to get this information out for a while, but we've just recently been able to put everything in place to say, okay, now we can do it. Now we can talk about it. So thank you for being patient. All right. So that basically concludes my presentation. Now we'll be accepting in some questions. I have Dagger here to assist me with that. I'm going to roll back to that previous screen just so we have some sort of baseline to talk about and you guys have a moment to review it. And if you have questions, so I'm going to do that now. That's our Steam release timeline. Dagger, are you here on comms with me?
I am, yep.
Great, cool. So can you help me with some questions really quickly? I can't see that screen just yet.
Yeah, parachuting dogs, when?
Naturally. Soon.
What's the status of the HE audit?
The high explosive audit is pretty well complete. We intend to roll it in within our early access time frame, which we're projecting to be about 6 months right now. That may become shorter, may become longer, depends on things. But that's doing some basic testing right now. The data work is pretty much completed. The new HE model is pretty well ready, I am told from our production team. So as soon as possible, as soon as we release on Steam, and that's been our major focus, obviously. As soon as we do that, we already have a lot of content standing by that we're going to be distributing out and cycling. We've been kind of amping that up because getting on Steam is the hard part. But then it's like, how do we entertain everyone? How do we keep them coming back? And how do we make these improvements? So I should also note for everyone's benefit, excuse me, that although our developers have been primarily working on this Steam release, as well as our operations team, that does not mean these other things that are important to our customers, like new content or revision of existing content to ensure we have the highest fidelity of realism as possible, aren't being worked on. It's the complete opposite, really. We're very, very dedicated and focused right now on improving the realism of the game. And if you've been following our recent updates, you'll know that we've been finding some things and making some pretty important corrections. So shortly after Steam, expect some content, and HE Audit's right at the top of that list.
Cool. Thanks to Colin Lawton for that question. Next one comes from John McCormick, and question about if there will be a default squad for all the new players to mission with the squads that are in game right now. And I'll go ahead and answer this one. So as new players enter the game, they'll go through the training tutorials, and then once they enter the arena, they'll be able to choose their side, and we'll have the option to be placed with a squad. So if you are in a squad right now and you're a squad recruiter, if you turn on your recruiting flag and you're online, new users will be able to choose you as a squad to be placed into. So that means that new users will be able to choose the type of squad and the gameplay that they're looking for, and so make sure that your squad recruiting flag is on and that you have your squad information updated in game so that it shows up correctly there on the recruiting page when the new users log in. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a good way to get all the users tied in with existing squads and let them jump into the action real fast. So it's going to be great. So thanks for that question. Let's see. The next question from James Cosby says, it's a timeline for town-based supply.
Okay, that's a very good question. We had wanted to do town-based supply, as you know, before we went to Steam. However, we looked at the user interface that we made, and we also thought about, okay, we're going to have to retrain everyone, including our customers. And right now, as we release on Steam, and that is really the biggest thing we have to do, we realized, and I had actually gone into extreme detail in the forums about why that would be actually a dangerous move. If our existing community cannot support this new incoming community properly, then we're going to run into serious problems. That being said, our goal has been to find some sort of middle ground. We have this crowd, kind of it's pretty big divide in our community. Those who want town-based supply versus those who want some sort of movable flags. And we've been thinking, how can we find a middle ground? Do we have supplemental flag supply where they can move flags around a little bit just to keep things a little interesting and dynamic? Because although, if you know me and my previous commentary about the brigade system and its flaws, there are significant flaws. It is kind of cool to be able to move supply around. So I'm working with the team to figure out the best approach. And a hybrid system seems to make the most sense right now, where think of town-based supply as we wanted to do it, then with some supplemental movable supply. So when we're hoping in early access, we want to make that a thing by the time we hit full release on Steam. But our biggest goal for this massively multiplayer online game right now is to get more people in it. Immediately, when more people are in it, the game will improve substantially. That doesn't mean High Command's job is going to be easier. I get that. But you will see things will be more fun. The battles will be bigger. The squads will grow. It will solve a lot of problems. That being said, we're not being blind to the fact that we have a system that truly needs some work. So we're going to work with our guys internally. We're going to work with our veterans of the game, and certainly those guys in high command who are dealing with it now. Myself, I was in high command with this system, as well as the brigade system, as well as town-based supply. So I know what it's like being out there in the field, and as a HC commander, I feel you guys, and hang in there. I understand. I haven't forgot about it. I haven't talked about it much lately because we've just been so focused on Steam. Now that we have these dates out and we're preparing to release, that will give us some flexibility to start looking at that. We'll release on Steam. We have some more content coming to entertain the crowd, but there's no doubt this big elephant in the room, and that is the general strategy of the game. And it's very, very delicate. We must treat it very carefully. So I hope that answers your question. We hope to get some major progress done on it, if not release something within our early access timeframe, which I said is 6 months. That's flexible. It may be more, it may be less. It really depends how things go, but that is very important to us, and I just want to confirm that we're not letting that go.
All right, cool. Sorry if I butchered your name, but the next one comes from Emilio Willowson, asking about accounts, like current accounts versus new Steam accounts. And like Zoom said earlier, if you have a current account that you are playing on right now, that account will not be able to be transferred to a Steam account. There's a lot of reasons for that. However, if you do want to play the game on Steam, you can play it as a non-Steam game currently, and it'll get you all the Steam UI stuff as a non-Steam game. But if you do truly want to play it through Steam, you'll have to create a new account. Unfortunately, there's no way to get around that at the moment. And for William Reitenbach, talking about World War II online streamers and video content producers. I'm a big proponent of streaming World War II online. I think it lends itself really well to being streamed on Twitch or YouTube or whatever your favorite platform is. And I'm going to be working in the future to get a kind of a media streamer partner program set up. Not quite sure what that's going to look like yet, but look for that in the future. So keep an eye out. Let's see, what else? Question about current supply timers. Currently, they're at 6 hours. Is that going to come down?
Supply timers, like resupplying. I'm not sure if I follow. Like the time it takes to get back into supply, or what supply timers?
I assume resupply timers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the current setting is. That's a question for our game manager, who is Ohm, O-H-M. Go ask him. And let me jump in. Koila, hey man, good to see you. Koila's asking about, is there a timeline for the new equipment to be released? I am working with Hatch and the production team to get that all in order. We do have stuff literally on the shelf that's ready to go. So some of that will be coming fairly quickly. Some of it will take some time. Putting a schedule in order is at the height of my list, and I just had a discussion with him a couple days ago about that, actually, that very thing. So hang in there. More stuff is on the way. These new vehicles are one thing. The STG-44, the M1A1 carbine. We've got our Italian infantry. These sort of things, our HE audit. These are the most likely quick deliverables that we'll be considering. Tony Jones says, what are the reasons for not being able to transfer your account over to Steam? Because other free-to-play games allow you to. Our decision is multifold, Tony. It refers to, I guess, the technical difficulties involved. If you have an existing account with us, that's a real pain to switch things over. That's the biggest reason. There are some financial reasons as well. But ultimately, all of your history will be zapped and gone. And we've just made it a policy that we're not going to do that. And we're also not going to transfer game names around because that's kind of complicated. So bottom line is current customers are those who want to use their account that they've signed up with us before. We're gonna continue to manage those accounts. You can continue to play alongside Steam players. You can even launch our game as a non-Steam game through the Steam UI and still access all of your friends. There's pretty much no difference other than it not being in your Steam library as a downloaded game in your Steam apps folder. But actually, World War II Online will show up in that form as a non-Steam game in your library, and it'll launch the Playgate, and everything will be just fine. So there's really not a big difference. So because of those things, we said, hey, given our resources and team size and just the complexity involved, is this really valuable to us? The answer was no. So again, as Dagger said, if you really have your heart set on creating a new Steam account, you can do that. That's fine. But we won't be supporting transferring any of your old stuff over. We just won't. Gladio asked about the I think you got that answered then. Gladio was asking about the Italian infantry. Yeah, we have the Italian infantryman. He will be embedded with the German army, just as we have been talking about. So the Italians will come in at kind of a smaller scale. We'll give them a couple weapons. The biggest difference here is to add a little bit of difference on the battlefield and also kind of work our way in towards the Italian forces a little bit. They will be Axis. The Axis are currently just German, and they need a little bit of help. So yeah, the Italians will be brought in a small role, but we think it's still going to be cool. We do have the character art. Vocal did that, and it's really gorgeous. That stuff hasn't just faded away. We're still pursuing that, and it's almost ready. Oxford09 had asked about in-game voice chat. This is a big priority for me. And I was just talking with Victaris about this the other day, like yesterday, actually. Integrated voice comms, in the way that we had proposed laying it out, would immediately allow players, regardless if they're day one or brand new today, day one meaning our original release, the old veterans, it would allow them to get organized and communicate better. It will improve gameplay dramatically. That is super, super important for me during our early access phase to get that going. I really, really want that. And I think that with our Steam folks, they are going to appreciate it very much. And if you are a Steam user listening today, please, for the love of God, get on Discord, because your gameplay experience will improve dramatically. I promise you. When I first started playing in 2002, I was running around. I really didn't know what I was doing. You'll find out what that's all about soon. Hopefully you follow training, and we've tried to alleviate that. But when you get on voice comms and you join a squad, your happiness and your enjoyment of our game skyrockets. You just feel like you're part of something, and really you are. That's kind of the cool part of our game, is the replayability factor. It's not just all about run and gun. It's about being part of a community and a team serving a higher purpose. That's what this game is all about. Dagger, you want to jump in? You got anything?
Yeah, I was just going to go to Paul Diaz's question about work on damage models, and talk about the work that Hatch and Scotsman and the production team are doing on the kinetic energy audit, and following that up with an armor audit. So the production team is hard at work auditing things that are in game right now and gathering information for weapon or projectile types to be added to the game, as well as improving the fidelity of the armor modeling in the game. So that's all some pretty big news, and looking forward to seeing that once they get all those audits complete. It's a lot of work, and I know that they've been working hard, pretty much around the clock in some cases to get that stuff done, and so we can get it in game. So that's pretty cool to see. So another question about HC uniforms and in-game emotes.
All right, so HC uniforms are something we're not currently working on, just to be direct about that. It's not that we're not interested, but it's not really a major priority. We are thinking of ways to incentivize people to join High Command and empower those officers to be supporting the battlefield. And we want HC to not just be a map OIC. We want them to be force multipliers for operations and such, the way they're originally intended to be. So we're looking at tools, and we're considering ways to actually make them have value in the field of the game, as opposed to, and I think the HC uniforms were cool because as a player, a non-HC member, you could target those individuals, and for those who were in HC, it was kind of cool to have a uniform and look different and feel important. So it's not that we're not terribly interested right now. It's just a matter of prioritization. We will have to create a new permissions-based system that supports that. The old one is simply so out of date in its code, we just don't even want to go there. Let's see here. The in-game emotes, charge, take cover, etc. Those are super cool. And yes, those are things that our animation artist is working on right now. And we, in terms of, those are just emotes. So, dot em, whatever. And then there's the control 1 through 5, which are the tactical commands you were just referring to. Those are things we're super interested in doing. I had something else I was going to say, but I forgot. But yes, those are currently in progress. A little bit painful to work in, but we're working on getting those things back. Oxford 09 was asking about putting squad missions back in. My routine response to this question, I used to be in the game as a player, obviously, and there was squad missions, and I remember that whole thing, and it was super cool. However, right now we have to think that squad missions would be detrimental to introduce, certainly at the heels of our release on Steam. Why? Here's why. Missions are the gateway to accessing the battlefield. If a new user comes in and he doesn't have a place to go or the most options to choose from, that's called alienating a player from being able to effectively get into the game. Now, some things we have talked about internally, as opposed to just let's bring back the old squad missions exactly as they were, was maybe we can do something similar where we can allow a mission leader to invite people to their missions, or to not necessarily ban someone from their mission, but have some sort of lock and control on entry into their mission. We think that might have some, we want to look at it differently. We just don't want to bring up what was, because that will alienate people. And we want the most opportunity for someone to actually get into the game and experiencing it. And because, again, missions are the gateway, we have to be very careful. It's a very delicate thing to mess with. So is squad missions coming back exactly as they were? The answer is no. Is there some restricted or empowering the mission leader to have more control over his mission and its participants? That's something we're certainly more interested in discussing, but there's not active development on it at this moment. Back to you, Dagger. Dagger, you here, man?
Oops. Yeah, I was on.
Oops.
Like a champ. All right. Tony Jones was asking, on the subject of sounds, will you be making hit sounds in a tank so you can tell what you're being attacked by?
I haven't thought of that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, maybe we should update the sound of our infantry deaths, because they sound kind of goofy. I don't know. Just maybe we can get some volunteers. I don't know. Do you want to listen to those audio files?
Yeah, let's do it. Everybody's sounds. All right. I'm actually not seeing any other questions right now, so I think that's about it.
Kevin Metz says, how easy would it be to retrieve, a 16-year-old squad name? Contact our support guys, support.worldwar2online.com, and ask them. Maybe we have it. Well, we should. 16-year-old, that sounds like a day one account, or maybe a little bit before, so hopefully it's there. And let's see. Years ago, CRS was planning or talking about new bunkers. Anything going on there? We infantry guys really want new and different bunkers. One thing we were talking about certainly was we like, and this is still true. I know I talked with Hatch and Sad Guy, and there was somebody else there that other night. It must have been about a week ago. We were doing a complete review of a lot of our buildings inside of the game, and we found that some of our buildings actually don't have their secondary damage state activated. So we tried to understand why that is, and that's something that we just inherited as the new team, and those are things we're going to work towards fixing, like particularly some of those bigger buildings out in the field. But one thing we all unanimously love and agree on is that the new bunkers are not nearly as cool in terms of gameplay as the old bunkers. Having to fight down the hallway with the murder holes and getting through lines of defenses and giving those defenders a last stand opportunity to hold their town, and being someone as a customer who experienced that, so much better in terms of gameplay. I would like to update that model and reintroduce that as the mainstay. I also really miss, so that was the old city bunker, if you remember, it's concrete. And then there was the Pentagon bunker, and it had that camo netting over the top, and it was so cool. It was so much more interesting than what we have right now. These are things, those two objects I'd like to update in their art, but we don't really have to do much with their floor plan, really. We could modify it a little bit, but they were phenomenal and would greatly improve gameplay, I think, almost immediately. The question is, how do we introduce that and not, since we're not that experienced with the terrain editor right now, how do we make sure we don't break things? But I think it's a worthy task to consider. So, Marcus, I hope that helps give you some hope and energy that that's something we really want to do, and we are talking about ways to improve the gameplay experience. Now, with these other big city buildings I was talking about that don't have the secondary damage state, it's kind of crazy because when a bomb hits that building, there should be a mental expectations with, say, 90% of our other buildings blowing up. Why aren't those? We're documenting that. Our QA team is doing a great job documenting those things. And we're investigating and working with our production team to see how can we activate these? Why were they deactivated in the first place? Is there opportunity to clip, or is there some weird graphical reason? But we've been able to blow some of those buildings up, see their secondary state, and dude, they're so cool. They offer so much more play space. So those are things we can do as long as we maintain the same floor plan and don't stretch out the object in any way. We can actually change the building from within, or create a whole new structure as long as it fits that footprint on the terrain tile. So those are things we're looking at and new things we're learning that we can do, which is really cool. Terrain is so important. Terrain is everything that you see, whether it's a building, it's everything that's not a movable player, basically. It's everything is terrain that way. So if you think of it in that terms, it's quite an important part of our whole game. We need to do more with it. So we're definitely interested in that.
All right. Crater was asking about the timeline on the new vehicles, specifically the new JU.
Yep, I answered that earlier, and I'm working with Hatch to get all of that figured out. I don't have an answer today. I can tell you that the artwork is complete. The data is mostly complete, but there's a couple little fine things that need to be done. So I don't have an answer for you today. It will be shortly after our release on Steam. Content is going to be the priority after we release on Steam. So that means more toys faster, including bug fixes as well.
Cool. Joker was playing another game, tisk, and was asking about ability or enhanced ability to mark up the map in game to enhance the tactical setup on the battlefield. Is that something we can look into?
I'm not sure I really follow that, actually. Enhanced abilities to mark it up? You mean like adding, what do you mean? Like
such as like need defenses set up here or form up in this location, that kind of thing.
Oh, I see. So just giving them more map tools so that they can, okay, I get it. That is something when we talk about empowering high command officers as well as mission leaders, that is the kind of stuff we really need to focus on. We need to do a better job at providing leaders the tools necessary to organize troops. This game thrives on effective leadership and followership, but if we don't have the tools in place to support them, that's our fault. We should be doing a better job, and that's something we desperately need to do. Generally speaking, we, like these big opt-in events we have coming, where we have this chain of command already created. If we could figure out some cool way to just on the fly get players organized like that, and not overcode, but make it an option and somehow support it without being too intrusive to freedom of gameplay, That would be a huge win, because when this game is organized, when there's effective leadership and followership at play, uh, there is no other game like it. So how do we do that? That's stuff we're thinking about big time.
Cool. Looks like there's a question here about customized squad uniforms or squad patches and camo for weapons. Is kind of customizable skins something that we get?
Yeah, so customizable skins for weapons, not any time in the interim. That requires a whole new, a lot of considerations. However, that would also require us to look at, a different means of monetization. That is a microtransaction sort of thing. In terms of squad patches, that's something we can do. Contact our support guys and we'll give you some more information. We don't do that for free. But if a squad wants to come together to put that in order, you can get your own squad emblem on all of your vehicles. And many years ago, our old infantry model used to allow for showing it's called a decal, a personal decal, which is that squad patch. Right now, they're only on vehicles. They're not on our infantry. And I'm working with our production team to fix that. So if you have a patch that you're really proud of and maybe you're an infantry player, I'd like to be able to display that for you. It just makes sense. So we're working on adding that back in. That's on the list of things to do.
Cool. So James Hart says he hasn't played in a while. Is the fallback and counterattack command still missing? Fallback and hold at all costs and so forth are back in the game. So those aren't missing anymore. So just a quick answer.
Hold on. I know overrun, and I think fallback is. I'm not sure about hold at all costs.
All right.
I'm not sure, but I don't think so on that one. But I think overrun and fallback is.
Well, in that case, there's your answer.
Yeah, sorry. Just making sure we're careful.
Yeah. Now I lost my place. Okay, there we go. Can we expand the map? That's the question.
Yeah, so at this particular moment, expanding the map, I have a plan in order for us to start working on terrain again. That super top secret stuff I'm not going to get into today. But at this moment, there is no active effort. You'll have to sit and wait and see what we do about that. Any projections on number of new players? Somebody asked. Dylan Chrislip. Hopefully I said that right. Lots. Like I said, on Steam, we're seeing not just thousands, but hundreds and thousands of new people learning about our game on a monthly basis. Hundreds of thousands. So for anyone who has been on the sideline saying, I'm not going to show up until we get more people. I'm waiting for more people. When is that going to be? When we hit go and you see this by December or September 22nd, those guys better be here. I'm just saying, it's going to be phenomenal. We are going to be slammed to the gills. It's going to be awesome. You should be here. Go ahead, Dagger.
Oxford 09 was asking about the possibility of colored smoke.
Dude, high five. I really like that idea. I know I was talking to somebody about this, but yes, colored smoke is something we can definitely do. I think it should be for specific classes, and I would love that, because who wouldn't want to mark an enemy tank so that their buddies in the sky can see? And it would be something like, okay, the Germans have a red smoke grenade and the Allies have a blue one, so that your guys in the air can say, okay, I'm going to go bomb that dude, for example, or you can paint a target. Hell yes, let's do that. Why not?
Yep, that would be awesome. Where can you find out more about the game? You can find out more at worldwar2online.com. All the information you need to get yourself in game is there, and as you've seen today, will be on Steam shortly. So that's another way you'll be able to join the game.
Let me jump in.
Yeah.
James Hart's talking about smoke rounds for tanks. Guys, we are working on it, and we are also working on Willie Pete rounds for tanks. We haven't talked much about that, but they are something we are seriously considering and have already got a very basic demonstration of being able to work on that in a development environment. Tank rounds, smoke tank rounds, and tank Willie Pete rounds are something we are very much going to do.
All right. Looks like we're just about out of questions at this point.
Yes. Sweet. Well, we can get back to work. Do you have any last comments, Dagger?
Not really. Just really excited to get the ball rolling here and get everybody from Steam into game. We've seen some great response from the Steam community already, and I'm looking forward to having all those fine folks in game with us. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
A Willie Pete round is white phosphorus. That stuff will mess you up. Oxford. That's what that is. Yeah, guys. Hey, I want to thank everybody for being here today. I'm so excited. You can hear it in our voices to share this. We've been working so damn hard to get to this point, and you guys have been outstanding with your patience and support. We would ask you at this point to tell all of your friends, all of your squad mates, all of our veterans about what's coming, and tell people, the new people, now that we're on Steam, people most likely recognize, Steam, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, that game must be legit all of a sudden, although we've been here for 16 years, but they'll take it more seriously now. Let's work together. Let's get as many people to wish list and like World War II on Steam. Let's get our veterans back and prepared. We will be sending out a ton of emails, so sorry in advance. We're going to be spamming a little bit today to make sure that everybody knows about what's going on, and we need your help starting right away. Now that you have these dates, it'll be coming in the USA on September 8th, barring no issues on the 5th. And I should mention that really quickly. This timeline here, absolutely fundamentally, we should be on Steam by September 22nd. We are going to make these dates as best as we can. But if there's a problem on September 5th, we have this staggered release so that we can fix these problems and then introduce the bigger crowds. That's why it's listed out in this manner. So think about that. But either way, we are coming to Steam. We are going to totally have a huge opportunity here for World War II Online and its future. Guys, it's in our hands. We need your help to get this message across and to bring our friends and our community members back into the fold. So this isn't just on CRS. This is everybody. We all got to work together on this. I don't have anything else, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Your questions are awesome. What an opportunity we have here. This is a whole rebirth and a whole new potential for World War II Online. If we nail this, we have big things coming. We can get some more resources. We can get more developers, bug fixes, improved art, totally new stuff. Can you feel it? Can you feel this yet? All right, emails are going to be inbound. Dagger, I'm going to give you one more chance. Any other things to say?
Nope, nothing else.
I feel like a preacher right now. Amen, brother. Let's do it.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Hey, Tim, are you here? He's probably startled. That's the guy running the feed. Jim, are you here? Yeah. Okay, you're on the wrong chat, man. I can't get in on the Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to just mute my iPad there. We had a back channel communication just in case. I just want to say thanks for Chim and his hard work. He's been that guy showing the love of World War II Online on all of our platforms through the live feeds. Chim is an awesome dude. He's our he's our marketing guy, doing a great job. Thanks for running this. Dagger, thanks for being here in World War II Online community and upcoming Steam community. Big opportunities ahead. I can't wait for the Steam community to get in and learn about our game. This is so cool. We should probably kill the feed now, Chim, before I keep rambling. Thanks for being here, everybody.